is up? Welcome in. Happy Tuesday here on the CHGO Bears Podcast, presented to you by DraftKings. Use that code CHGO to get up to $150 in free bets when you sign up. What's going on, Bears fans? Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Nicholas Moreano. Here, look at Nick. I feel like you gotta stand up and model. It's just,
it got cold. No more gym shoes. Had to go with boots. The jean jacket.
It's kind of exhausting, honestly. He's like the best looking guy in all of media. Always looks cool. It's annoying.
It's my one day here, though. It's my one day here, so I feel like I gotta I don't know.
Jean jacket with a fur coat. Can we? Lawrence, I put in Bulls Beat last night a video of DeMar DeRozan, who was wearing a Uggs sweatsuit. That's the most comfortable thing of all time, but it sort of looks like Nick's collar.
But the full suit is like this.
Yes, his whole he literally looks like a bear. He looks like he's in the bear suit, and
I think our friends from Foco make those.
It was a little bit.
Oh, there it is. Yeah,
it's a little bit weird when I said that I wanted to cuddle with him because. But look at that guy.
He looks extremely warm, though.
Does that not look like the most comfortable thing of all time? Why is Hoge looks constipated right now looking at that thing?
You know what?
I wouldn't
wear that after you win a game.
Not
when you get crushed.
Getting
again.
punked at home by the frickin' Rockets. I'm so mad at that team right now.
Okay. This is the Bears show, so we're not going to do the Bulls show.
We're going to talk about the Bulls for the next 55 minutes.
But let me just tell you, like, everyone who's freaking out about the Bulls' loss last night, the Houston Rockets have beaten the Phoenix Suns twice. They beat the Milwaukee Bucks. They shot out of their mind last night, 55%. Yes, the Bulls' defense was not great.
Everyone shoots out of their mind against the Bulls. That's the problem.
The problem with the Bulls is that they're 3-8 against teams that are under 500. That's the problem.
I mean, the problem with the Bulls is they don't guard the 3-point line. That's another problem.
I mean, the Rockets hit a bunch of contested BS threes last night. It just did not go their way. It's okay. But
I didn't watch. Thankfully, I didn't.
I was watching Khalil Mack sack Nick Foles.
William Kane, you're my new favorite person in the chat at this particular moment.
Lawrence went out and got some Vietnamese coffee for the early comers here this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Stuff's legit.
Viet 5 coffee on Madison.
That cup of coffee right there is straight crack cocaine, and it's also $10.
I'm hosting like 8 shows today, so we need our Vietnamamese coffee.
I can't say I've ever had it.
If you are in the West Loop and you want to get a
big that.
Are they a sponsor? Are we getting? They should be for this love.
Keep talking about it.
Yeah. I mean, Viet 5. If you want to change your life and you're in the West Loop for the next 4 hours, go to Viet 5.
I'm probably gonna do that.
It's not that expensive though. I don't know why you're like so mad about it.
It's $7 for a cup of coffee.
No, this was like $5, I think. $4.55.
No, it wasn't.
The 12 ounce. I feel like it's $4.85 or something like that.
Their cheapest coffee in there is $5 for the small.
Yeah, well, that's all you need. It's quite intense.
It kind of does actually bring into play. Like, I feel like if it costs more than $5, then I should actually pay Lawrence.
No. We're good. That's fine.
If it's like, a cup of coffee 5 and under, I feel like it's just sort of a gesture.
No,
but if it's really $7, I feel like an obligation to
Lawrence
pay for it.
Lawrence is a very generous man.
Always brings donuts.
Thank you. Lawrence is not looking for money. He just wants you to, contribute to the cause of the whole team.
I did bring Christmas cookies.
There we go.
And I brought you a present.
Really? Oh, yeah, you did. You did. We just played with it.
We're bringing
where's your gift?
Office Ball is coming back. No one knows what we're talking about, but it's going to be amazing.
Let's get into it because I know Bears fans are just chomping at the bit because Flus wants to win games. Bears.
All right, so, Nick, you were at House Hall yesterday. We'll do a little bit of a recap of these Monday press conferences, but at least with what they're saying, give us a recap of Flus's importance of winning here in these last 2 games.
Yeah, well, it kind of started with the news that Justin Fields not going to be shut down for the remainder of the season. The big reason why is they have to get better. And they have these divisional opponents against the Lions and Vikings who they lost to earlier this season. So it's important to see how this team stacks up against, division teams that they're obviously going to face every year. But, Justin Fields is still dealing with that shoulder injury. He couldn't put weight on his foot at the end of the Bills game, and the decision is to continue playing him. But he has to see what he has in this roster, and that's I get it why he made the decision that you're not going to shut Justin Fields down. I think there are some benefits that he can still gain. But there is a risk to that. But that was kind of the first main topic of what Eberflus was talking about.
Can I throw a conspiracy theory out there, which actually dovetails off of Hoge's take that I'm looking forward to you spinning out there in a second. If for some reason we get to tomorrow's press conference when Flus updates all the injuries and it comes out that something has happened with Justin, that it's a little bit more serious than they thought, all right, and he's not good to go.
Okay.
Could that be because him and Ryan Poles sat down and Poles said, yo, Flus, I love you. I love the chemistry that you've built here. I love what's going on. I don't know.
So if in Carm's world, if hypothetically
yes,
something completely opposite of what the head coach yesterday happens tomorrow, instead of covering that situation if it happens, let's hypothetically bring it up the day before it might not happen. It won't happen.
Let's get ahead of the game.
You heard it here first.
I love the way your brain works.
I know it's not normal, and believe me, it's challenging to live with myself.
Hypothetically, yes, if they completely change their mind based off what happened yesterday and Fields does not play, then I think there would be a world in which the GM came in and said, let's not do this.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. In the real world, I don't think Flus goes up to that press conference yesterday without that conversation already happening between him and Ryan Poles, and Ryan Poles being on the same page as the head coach.
Okay, and that's where I wanted to get to. So you actually think that, and it's the most likely scenario, I would hope that that's how it works, that they are both on board, that winning one of these next two or both of them is the best thing that can happen for the franchise.
Okay, see, this is where I think we need to split up. Mm-hmm. Okay, I understand that they're saying they want to win. Okay.
This is the Hoge take that we've talked about off air that I like. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is a moot point. They're not going to win.
I disagree.
The Lions, I think, showed their hand. Like, they're the Lions still, based on how they play. But
guys,
what percent chance do you give?
How many games in a row do you have to see this play out? They kind of hang around. They're sort of there.
They can hang around.
The other team is better, and they win by 100 points in the fourth quarter.
Hold on a second.
They only lost by 5 to the Eagles, though, and the Eagles are going to win the NFC.
Yeah, they only lost by 5 to the Eagles, and it was a one-score game with Buffalo. You telling me that Justin Fields in an indoor stadium can't...
All I'm saying is, look.
You can't Fields...
First of all, no
happen.
head coach is going to say something other than what Flus said yesterday. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And then second, on top of that, I do believe, and I'm not saying it's just the Bears, I think what happened with the Miami Dolphins last year has resonated across the league. Okay, the Dolphins fired their coach. There was a lawsuit. They lost a first-round draft pick. Okay? Mm-hmm. Nothing spooked the NFL offices more than a head coach alleging that the owner was incentivizing and asking him to tank. Okay? I'm not saying the Bears are anywhere near that. What I am saying is there's a sensitivity across the league to that. And I do think in the messaging that the Bears have been consistent on from week one on and will continue to be, all they want to do is win, win, win no matter what. Okay? Because you just have to – that has to be your mentality out there publicly. Trading away half the roster, putting guys on IR with weeks to go, I think you actually follow the breadcrumbs and the actions. They're doing a tremendous job, in my opinion. Honest to God, compliment of somehow developing the quarterback, improving the offense, putting the systems in place so that next year when they actually plug in the players, they could actually have success while still potentially getting the number 1 draft pick. Right. Might be the greatest tank job of all time, to be honest with you.
Well, to that point, this has been the most amazing Bears season of all time. It literally could not have gone any better.
Yeah.
The quarterback can play. You're going to get a really high draft pick. And you could, in theory, after this season is over, set yourself up, if they're really smart and creative, to actually get to where we haven't been since 1985. But, Nick, do you believe what Adam Hoge is saying, or do you believe that deep down, in every single fiber of Matt Eberflus's bones, he wants to win this game on Sunday?
I think he does. Mark.
I agree,
think he
but
wants to win.
I think he does
but it's
too.
not the best thing for the franchise in 2023.
No, but I think
honest.
he thinks it is. I think he thinks it is. That is not his mentality, and the philosophy here.
There it is.
I don't think it computes. It's good to lose. That's not the flus that we know and love. I think.
See, I think when I actually do believe that when the game starts, when the ball is kicked off, that every player and coach involved in the game is trying to win.
They think they have a chance.
That I 100%, and I think that's the difference between what most teams, actually all teams, including the Dolphins last year, that's the conflict that arose between the ownership and the coach. Because all coaches are that way.
Right.
Once the game starts, they're trying to win. That's what they get paid to do. One thing you got to also keep in mind is, at the end of the day, these games are still going to count on Eberflus's record. 4 years from now, when maybe there's a bumpy patch and half the city's like, fire the coach like they always are, they're going to be pointing to the record, right? Whether that's fair or not. So if you're the coach, you're always trying to win. Where, I'm only bringing in the Dolphins because of the sensitivity towards the issue in this particular year coming off of what happened there. But I do think that as a human being, when the game is over, when he's meeting with the GM on Monday morning or whenever they meet, maybe Sunday night, when they he understands the benefit of having the number one overall pick.
I'm not saying he doesn't understand the benefit, but I also don't. I don't think that there's any fiber of him that wants to get there. He would. I believe him when he says that these are division games and that winning these next two and getting to 5 is going to have an impact next season, which objectively it's hard to really draw that line. That if they beat the Lions and they beat the Vikings, that's going to have any impact on what happens in 2023. Yes, go
Super
ahead.
chat here. The Twan.
Twan. Yeah, the Twan 89. Yeah.
Okay. Is there value in winning 1 or 2 games if it prevents you from drafting a dude and instead having to just draft a guy?
That's the concern, Twan. But
no, I mean, obviously, look, it's. But this is where I get kind of annoyed with this whole conversation.
Yeah, great. I love it. Let's go.
Because one, I think it's a moot point. I think the Bears lose these last 2 games. I think if you look at their defense and the wide open gashing holes that were there in crunch time, they missed Jack Sam. We're going to get to all that here when we get to grades in the next segment. One, I think it's a moot point. But 2, this is definitely one of those arguments where both can be true. 100%. Look at how much we still value the win over the Patriots. We keep talking about it.
October 24th.
Winning is important, and it gives you good vibes. In that case, we still look at, we're going to talk about it all offseason. That win over the Patriots is the evidence that it can all come together next year with the right players in the right situation, with the right schemes, and Justin Fields playing well, and the coaches made the adjustments and all this. And so, yes, if they were to beat the Lions, it's going to hurt your draft stock, probably, although maybe it won't, depending on some of these other results.
True.
But probably it does. And yet, the players don't necessarily care about that. They're going to be looking at the positives of what went right in that game. The coaches are going to look. The coaches are going to look at what they practiced and how that led to success. So it's still beneficial to you. And at the same time, if they lose again, I still think all this has been mostly beneficial. It's okay.
Go ahead, Nick, because I'm really into the
I'm seeing
Hendricks
you, like,
versus.
collect your thoughts there, Mark.
No, I'm just enjoying Hendricks versus Braggs in the chat right now. Hendricks doesn't want the Bears with the number 1 pick because that would be embarrassing in essence. And then Hendricks, that's silly. Hendricks versus Braggs is adorable. You're right. You're right. There's both things. If there is going to be for that locker room a confidence boost for if Dominique Robinson gets to the quarterback, gets to Jared Goff and eats him, and Justin Fields goes down the field in the fourth quarter and throws a touchdown pass to Dante Pettis that wins the game in the final seconds, it's going to feel awesome for them. Mm-hmm. They're going to sleep better. There's going to be a confidence boost there. But what and then there's the other side, which we're all in agreement here. The other side is they are trying to win the Super Bowl for the first time since 1985, and they are actually in a position right now. Like, this is a very, very key moment in Bears history right now where you actually are going to which we've talked about a zillion times, we'll continue to talk about in the whole offseason, but you are at the point right now where you kind of have done the hard work. You've eaten all the dead money. You're setting yourself up with draft picks. You miraculously made the right call on the quarterback for the first time. So if you do it right from here, it could happen. It is absolutely in play that they can get there, and they're really far away. If the miracle of all miracle happens, that they get the number 1 overall pick, and you can spin that pick into however many picks you can get from there. And then also, I would say, if you spend wisely this offseason and maybe don't just freak out and just sign guys to sign guys and roll that money over, at least some, to when you get closer and closer so it's very clear exactly what you need, you actually might be able to do this for the first time in 8,000 years. So I just think this is, we are at a very key pivot point. And which is why the last 2 games to me are huge. If they can find a way to lose them and we can get a Houston win here, that would be the ideal scenario. Now, it's not the end of the world, like whatever. They have the 2 pick or the 4 pick. They're still in a good position, but why not hit the home run at this point?
Yeah, I just want to quickly bring up Corey's super chat here. He said, I'm sure Jets fans are happy they won 1 meaningless extra game that got them Zach Wilson instead of Trevor Lawrence.
2. They won 2.
Yeah, they won 2 of the last 3.
But true. I also don't think this is that same situation.
Right. It's not.
I mean, when you need
the quarterback.
You absolutely need a quarterback, and Trevor Lawrence. And by the way, I'd also point out to all those Jets fans complaining, you still could have drafted Justin Fields.
Oops.
So, which would also be proof to the other side of it that. Now I'm not gonna lie. I mean, obviously, best case scenario for the Jets would have been, and that's where I'm kind of getting at. Like, both can be true. You still got to hit on the pick, also.
Yeah, that's
like,
a big thing.
You still have to make the right pick, and that's the other side of it. Is like, the Jets probably shouldn't have beat the Browns and and the Rams. Yeah. I think if they had just lost one of them, they would have been fine, if I remember right. But regardless, they were winless, and all of a sudden they win 2 meaningless games against good teams, which shows you anything can happen any given week. And it certainly hurt them long term, but you still could have had a pretty damn good quarterback, and you failed.
Right.
So you still effed up that pick. Good job, Zach Wilson.
Lot of ways to skin a cat, which is it's another conversation that I want to have with Bears fans. Yes.
It's not as entertaining to just have the
3rd or 4th pick.
No, I'm just saying, like, how about you just play well individually and you still lose the games and everybody's happy? Like, I know that's not as entertaining as a conversation, but, like, how about Justin just has a good game?
Justin, Kyler, those guys.
Because look at it like this. You lost to the Bills. There's very little that, like, mattered, right? But how do you think Velus Jones is feeling this week?
Better?
Probably better.
No question.
Right?
He said it was his most complete game. I asked him, like, after in the locker room. So, confidence.
If Dominique Robinson has 3 sacks on Sunday,
great.
And they lose, like, I guess that's when,
that individual wins.
That is a very fair point, which, everyone's always like, team. You know what they care about number 1 before anything else? Themselves, because they're human beings just like we all are. So if they play well, if the quarterback plays well, the quarterback's going to sleep well. If Kyler Gordon is sleeping like a baby this week, he's not sweating the fact they lost. Thank God I stepped up big in a game that I don't even remember the score, but I played well against one of the NFL's best, maybe the NFL's best, depending on your perspective.
You know, when Justin Fields was having his stretch of games, you notice the press conferences afterwards, like it was a polar opposite difference than how it was in the beginning of the season.
Right.
When, you know, it wasn't going well. But, hey, he's balling out. Exactly. To your point, Mark, they do care about themselves first, and then if it equates to team success, that's also great as well.
Oxygen mask goes on number one first. Then you can start looking at the team.
I just love, like, what have people been watching that they're so worried about the Bears actually winning one of these two games?
But Hoge, they've been right there.
They've been close.
And they're playing the Lions. You tell me there is.
Did you really think at any moment that they were going to beat the Pack? I'm the one who live bet the Packers when the Bears were up 19-10.
Hold on.
Every single one of these games.
Hold on.
What are?
It's the Lions. So I think it's the opponent. That's what's giving me, like, if the Bears are in
The Lions are better than the Packers.
The Bears should have beaten the Lions. They had them beat.
And then what happened? That's exactly my point. And then what happened?
Yeah, but you cannot. But that was a Cairo Santos missed
extra
extra point away from overtime and a win.
And
they're right there.
How do you know they're going to win?
You don't, but you can't just say that like there's no chance they're beating the Lions. Of course there's a chance.
I'm not saying there's no chance.
But like it's not a 5% chance
I just feel like
either.
there's this incredible anxiety from Bears fans that like they're going to lose out on something here because they win. I'm like, what are you watching? Like,
I'm watching them
lose. Their quarterback has been playing great in an 8-game losing streak. Do you know how hard that is to do in the NFL?
Pretty tough.
You know what's
Those don't add up. This is the NFL where if your quarterback's good, you win. They've lost 8 games in a row with a good quarterback.
All right, for 1,000% certain when we're clipping the show, this is in it, and I hope you're right. But if you're wrong, I'm gonna retweet it every day for like 68 straight days. Not to be that guy, but I might have to be that guy on this one. It is in play that they beat Detroit this week. It's in play.
I think it's in play, Adam. I think it's in play. I agree with Mark.
You guys have a lot.
I'm picking Detroit.
Lot of faith in them.
I'm picking Detroit.
I'm picking Detroit. Don't get me wrong.
Is there one member of the Bears front seven playing this weekend that you're like, yeah, he's got to be back next year?
That's a excellent fair.
Front seven? I mean, Jack Sanborn.
Is Jack Sanborn playing this week?
No. That
was the question.
Yeah.
The players who are actually on the field against the Lions this week, what?
Okay.
The Lions are going to put up 500 points.
Okay, I listen.
Probably not.
Can we do? Never mind. That's fine. We'll do that. We'll do that later in the week.
We should probably do a break right now.
Yes,
we can do that. What about our coverage for Detroit this weekend? Can we talk about that or no? Is that a conversation we can have?
What is that? Like
sure. Why does anybody want to hear
secondary?
it?
Well, because I just think it's interesting. Like Hoge's going to cover this week, and and so you're going to be in the stadium. Yeah. And when this nightmare scenario happens that the Bears beat the Lions and they get their 4th win on the year, I want a video of you on the field explaining to how you were 1,000% wrong. And
no. I just want to clarify. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just surprised at like how worried people are that it will happen.
We're worried because
you guys seem pretty confident. Like I'm convinced both of you are picking the Bears to win this week.
No, we said Lions. But there's a possibility.
But I'm gonna. What's the spread right now? 4.5, right? DraftKings Sportsbook.
Deleted all my sports gambling apps yesterday.
Oh, Nick's just giving away money. That had to be. Was that family
you
influence?
Deleted
all of them.
You deleted all the apps?
Every single one.
Did you bet the Bulls last night? That was the final?
There's only one app you should be deleting. Let's just call it out.
That's true. I had some previously, but it was Monday night game. It was Bulls. It was a disaster.
What do you think about Braggs' thing? If the Bears beat Detroit,
are you a Gamblers Anonymous already?
Maybe I took the first step.
Okay.
Well, and by the way, I kind of knew that Nick needed some Gamblers Anonymous because his tweets about the Bulls were so aggressive and upsetting that it had to be about his wallet and not the basketball team.
If you're,
Honestly,
Yes.
If you're betting on the Bulls right now,
I may have splashed a little when they were down 11 and got the plus money on the money line. It's like they could beat this team. I'm going to throw a little bit of cash on there.
they can't.
Yeah,
Just like the Bears can't.
Yeah, but it was halftime, and I'm like, they're up 1. I got this. This is going to happen. And then the third quarter was the worst quarter of basketball ever.
But like Bragg said, if the Bears beat Detroit, Hoge has to stay in Detroit.
An extra night in Detroit. What do you think about that? I don't want to mess your family life up. So
I am staying until Monday, just based on the
so that would be
flight situation.
That would be till Tuesday.
There's no
chance.
chance.
On Southwest?
There's no not flying Southwest.
How about you have to walk around the stadium 2 times and do a live video?
2 times?
No.
Oh, man.
No, first of all, you cover a game in Detroit, you get in and out as fast as possible.
You're staying an extra night. You got plenty of time.
Only because the transportation wouldn't allow me. And you also don't drive to Detroit after
You could drive.
no.
You tell me that you
do not drive to Detroit after December 1st. Do you know why?
Why?
At any given moment, you drive along the east coast of Lake Michigan, you get hit by a foot of snow.
Let me ask you something. Not to. I think you've.
Did you see how much snow they got? You've
been
big
covering-
snowstorm we got. We got about an inch. Do you know how much they got on the other side of Lake Michigan?
8,000 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you don't drive over there.
You've been covering the Bears for a decade.
Yeah.
You telling me that of all the friends that you've made over there, nobody wants to put you in their car and drive you home after the game?
We've done that many times coming home from Thanksgiving because they shut down the airport at like 2:30, which is not convenient.
You and Johns can't.
Okay. When is Thanksgiving?
That would be in November, I believe. Yeah.
So is that before December 1st?
This is one of our better shows. I'm really enjoying this program.
I mean, there are certain rules you have to follow. One of them is that.
So no one's driving? No one's going?
Not that I know of that's driving. You don't drive. Not after December 1st. Come on.
Tell you right now, Wiederer is flying down that highway like a champion.
Well, Wiederer is probably on my same American Airlines flights if I know Dan Wiederer.
Mm-hmm. Wiederer wants to be on this show. I can feel it.
Oh, he'll come on. Hey, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is our go-to. Well, at least our go-to when betting on the NFL this holiday season. Right now, new customers can bet. Actually, I had a close call last night. I have to say, you guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but sometimes I am wrong. Like, I'll probably be wrong about this whole Detroit Lions thing now since I'm so far into it. I was all in on Nick Foles last night.
Same.
Right? Okay,
the
difference is, Nick, I didn't bet it.
Oh.
Yeah, I splashed a little on the Foles experience. I thought, they could cover.
I'm like, it's the spark that Colts need.
See, I wanted to, but I was actually in my car about 15 minutes for kickoff.
Good for
and
you.
I do follow. You don't text and drive. You don't bet and drive. It's bad.
I don't know.
So
Betting and driving is quite fun on the Eisenhower when it's backed up traffic. Just kidding, everyone.
I did not pull up, although I highly recommend you using the DraftKings app. There was a moment of clarity when I didn't, and that paid off because, boy, the Colts were terrible. But you should be using DraftKings, and right now new customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game, and you'll get $150 in free bets if they do. Check this out right now. Everyone can earn up to a 100% boost with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays, which are always one of my favorite. The more legs you have in the parlay, the bigger the boost you get, which is great. You can combine bets like which team will win, player props, point totals, and they have this great button where you click at the top of the screen, and it just says Same Game Parlay Builder, and that shows you exactly what you can put in your Same Game Parlay. Makes it nice and easy for you. And download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code CHGO. Place a $5 bet on any NFL team to win their game. You'll get a $150 credit in free bets if they do, only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code CHGO. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Yeah, definitely check out DraftKings. It's amazing. But I'm going to tell you about Athletic Greens. And with one scoop of your AG1s, you are absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help start your day off right. What's awesome about Athletic Greens is that it costs less than a cup of coffee a day. Also helps support better sleep quality and recovery, which we all definitely need. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop and a cup of water every day. Super simple. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/CHGO Bears. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/CHGO Bears to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutrition insurance.
Good stuff. And just a reminder, you want to become a diehard because you need more Hoge, you need more Moreano, and you definitely want to read my grades and everything else that I'm doing at allchgo.com. Diehard memberships, you get discounts on merchandise. You get discounts on all of our events. We just had an awesome Bulls takeover, which was sweet. Lawrence, did you get...
I mean, they lost by 30 to the Knicks at home. But
yeah, the event was great.
I mean...
Yeah, but together.
Everybody had a big smile on their face, and Hoge was there doing his own thing. I think everything about
you know
that
what's
was
funny?
awesome.
So Carm actually thought that
Nick-
I was purposely not sitting with everyone.
No, I did not.
You did. A couple days later, you were like, he didn't realize that I had bought my own tickets because I missed out. I was an idiot. I didn't commit to the event soon enough. They sold out. So I had to go on the Game Time app, which we love. I bought 2 tickets as close as I could to the group to be a part of it. And Carm's like, oh, I thought you were just being antisocial. It was really the opposite.
It was painful for me to not see you immersed in all the CHGO diehards, which is why you should become a CHGO diehard. Nick was sitting with all the diehards. Who else was?
We had Greg. Greg was right next to me.
Yeah, Lawrence Benedetto was up there.
Jake was up there.
Jake was
Kevin
up there.
K-Duck forgot to eat food all day and was getting really drunk and swearing a lot at children up there.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, Big Dave was
That's
rocking.
all a true story.
It was an awesome scene.
Yeah, sorry, Kev.
Cody would have been there if he could have been there.
When you
Same
work
thing
from
with
home,
Luke.
you get called out on the podcast.
Yeah.
Cubs show 120 today. Let's go. World Series.
Let's go. All right.
Is there anybody better on social media than Cody? By the way, seriously, this guy is. There is no sleep in CODY. He's an impressive man. Yes, go ahead.
This Vietnamese coffee is really kicking in.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm telling you.
Try that.
That stuff is incredible.
It really is.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, should we get to the grades? And then I want to talk about...
Oh, okay, sure, yeah. Okay.
Are we going to get to Roquan at some point?
Yeah,
here?
I do. That's next.
Okay.
Next. We'll sneak in the grades here real quick. And first, let's start, as always, with our blue chippers.
Yeah.
Woof.
Oh.
And
Who is that?
There it is.
Is that Braggs?
Tumbleweed. It's just a
I'm
bunch
sure
of tumbleweed.
Braggs knows who that is.
Yeah.
Oh, he definitely knows who that is.
No, guys, that's not a typo. That's actually your list of blue chippers this week.
The blue screen.
Oh,
That guy.
wow.
Yeah.
No bueno.
Nobody made the list. Actually, Velus Jones was close, and Lawrence talked me out of it. No, that's
Sorry,
not,
Velus.
That's not actually how the grades work.
Did Velus make long-term special team
yeah.
starter?
No, what you did was you made me go back and because I do have a what's the right word? Like checks
A red
and balances.
pen?
I have checks and balances that kind of level things out from the extremes, if that makes sense. And since I was doing all this in a hurry today, I was a little bit behind on some stuff. You did kind of force me to go back and double check the 8-yard catch he had on a
Slant. Yeah.
It was 3rd and 11. Mm-hmm. It was a good play, but to me, that's like, yeah, that's your job. Wasn't a special play.
Low ball.
So anyway, let's get to the long-term starters because right there at the top, let's give him his credit. Velus Jones did have a great game. The only reason that really kept him out of the blue chip, that because he was very, very close. He did muff that last kick return, and that does count. I guarantee the coaches will knock him down for that. And it probably cost him some yards. Any timing is crucial on those kick returns, and you want to get the ball in your hands and downfield as fast as possible. But otherwise, good game for Velus Jones. These are the moments that still do matter. Part of the reason why I'm all for Justin Fields playing with these guys in these last 2 games because I do think the development of some of these players matters. Fields, not his best game, but still pretty good overall. There were a couple of accuracy issues. To be honest, a lot of it I put on the weather and do think that in the wind.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen threw a ball that bounced like 4 yards in front of a guy, and I'm like, that's not Josh Allen's fault. I mean, that's shitty weather.
I'm surprised to see him on there after that. I mean, I'm not worried about. Yes, I think he
still made some good decisions.
This is why there's a bunch of drops too. Like
there were a bunch of drops.
Hey, did you know Kyler Gordon was a dancer? Look at that photo. I mean, my gosh.
Oh yeah. Competitive dancer.
Kyler Gordon play well, and then
good flexibility.
Some special teamers, some love here. Trenton Gill.
Yeah.
And for the first time all season, Mr. Patrick Scales snapping through the wind.
I saw him earlier today.
You've been sleeping on Scales. Scales should have been on this thing long before.
You think so? He's usually in the starter category. He's a good player.
It's the first time I've ever noticed Patrick Scales on.
Well, because I don't show the starter category every week. We do the long-term starters.
Oh, okay.
Guys that go above and beyond. This is a good. He actually had a tackle too. He had a special teams tackle.
That's really what this is all boiling down to: is Hoge's coaching chops and just paying attention to people that are not getting enough attention. And congratulations to Patrick Scales. You ever talk to Patrick Scales?
Yeah, he's funny.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we can get Patrick Scales on the show. Can we do that?
I'm sure he would do it.
Should be down.
I would love a Patrick Scales. Let's talk.
He's at Bears Fit, so I'll get him next time.
There we go, Bears
Plenty
Fit.
of
All
time
right.
in the offseason.
Bottom tier.
Try and get all 54 of the guys, huh?
We got to work on that. Bottom tier, not the greatest day for Larry Borum playing left guard. Lawrence learned who Andrew Brown was. Right
Never
before
heard of him.
the show started.
Bear or
not a bear? Andrew Brown.
Well, what number was Brown? 47?
No, 90.
94?
He is Robert Quinn's number.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, him.
And then
Nick, you had a big breakdown of Andrew Brown.
guys,
No. No.
think about where Jack Sanborn's been almost every week we've done this, and then Joe Thomas ending up on the bottom chair. They missed him.
No doubt.
Which is another reason why you guys can get all excited about your Lions, but it's pretty hard to win football games when your defensive line can't get a push and your linebackers are blocked out of position and there's a gaping hole. And then multiple times in that game, Jaquan Brisker included,
Yeah,
then
not in the right
safety
gaps.
doesn't make the play,
Yep.
bad angle or missed tackle. DeAndre Houston-Carson did it
Saw
on a
that.
touchdown too.
Do you not remember the moment that Travis Gibson almost got to the quarterback?
Yeah, there's been plenty of those.
Do you not remember the moment that Dom Rob was on your television screen in the end zone chasing after whoever the hell they played last week, Josh Allen? Have you guys reached that point, by the way, that the games would become a blur? Like, I don't remember the Atlanta game at all.
You know what's funny?
Like, not even a second of it I can think of right
Well,
now.
I remember when Fields got hurt.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Right.
That happened.
Right.
But yeah, this has definitely been one of those seasons where the memory, sometimes when you'll ask me about a random game like 7 years ago, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's the game where that happened.
Right.
And I'll be able to pull it. This will be a season where, yeah. And there's a couple of those in the John Fox era. Like, I don't know that I could tell you much about the 2016 season.
No. I mean, it's honestly like I was just looking back through like games that the Bears were close to argue against you in your Detroit thing, and I'm like, Atlanta 27-24. Remember nothing, which is a concern perhaps as to the aging process over here. And maybe I need to get into a sauna and I mean, everyone on TikTok is telling me that all you got to do is sit in cold water and go in the sauna and like you'll live forever. So that's my new plan.
What is that? Yeah, I've been seeing that too.
Right?
Like
Cold water.
You need like 3 minutes of ice cold water every day, and then you need to be in the sauna like 57 minutes out of the week, and then you'll stave off all diseases.
hates.
I can do the sauna, no problem. The cold water thing is.
I do.
How cold? Like ice?
Ice.
Like an ice
Well,
bath.
Who has
like
that?
These people are doing this. They're all.
Quick shout out to Daniel O'Connor, the also known as the Great Lake Jumper. Did you follow him?
Oh, I
did
see that guy the other day.
Yeah.
He has
Insane.
jumped into Lake Michigan every day since early on in the pandemic.
Every day.
Every day, no matter the temperature, outside, inside the water, he is there.
I did notice the other
wild.
day, because he kind of went viral the day it was super cold, like -8 that morning or whatever.
This past week,
He did it with a jacket on.
Yeah, he has a little float device, and he's got shoes now, and he's got gloves, but, like,
Every day, though.
every day he's been doing it. I mean, because, like, in February, the entire lake is ice.
Yeah.
And so he'll have to like chop it open just to do the jump.
I was wondering that. He does it even when there's ice out there?
Yes.
These people on TikTok, they've got their hot tub or cold tub or whatever in the backyard, and it's full of ice, so they take a sledgehammer and get through, and then they get into it, and they sit there for 3 minutes. Lawrence retweeted the video from, what was it, Christmas Day.
It was. I think it was like, well, what was the coldest day? Friday? I don't know. Because I actually follow him on Insta, and the day before it was getting really cold. I'm like, hey, dude, like, feel free to just skip tomorrow. We get it. We know you're going to do this every day. We wouldn't mind if you skipped a day. And he still did
it.
And
he did a backflip into it.
Did a backflip.
Yeah.
Well, I just worry about the people that see that and try to imitate it. And, like, I'm sure this guy knows what he's doing. But water, especially Lake Michigan, man, is no joke. I have to go through this PSA every year. Do not mess around with Lake Michigan. I'm talking about in the summer, let alone when it's – I mean, if you know what you're doing, you'll be okay, but there's too many people that
every year
don't push it. Yeah.
Do you know how many times in a year, and this is even on shallower lakes, like up in the chain, that I see jump off their boat and go swimming without it being anchored? You don't understand how fast wind can move a boat away from you.
Right, and
way faster than you can swim if it's windy.
You're done.
And these people.
See you later.
Anyway, that's a whole thing.
By the way, Jep OKS, these people on TikTok, that is a compliment. I'm one of these people. I love TikTok.
Jep rocks.
Yes.
There's an R in there.
I can honestly say that I am not one of those people on TikTok.
You're missing out.
I don't know how.
I have it, but I honestly.
And my 8-year-old is referencing things he sees on TikTok, and I'm like, you don't even have a phone, and you don't have TikTok. What are you talking about? How does he see things on TikTok?
The most terrifying thing I saw on TikTok today was Mark Cuban talking about artificial intelligence and how, like, literally the world's going to be. We're all so screwed. What's coming?
Oh, you got to see that movie we talked about last week. The Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up.
Oh yeah. Okay. I've seen that.
If you want to see a bizarre family drama, go to the theater and see The Fablemans. That was.
I saw the trailer.
It is some warped stuff. Okay, we're off path.
Yeah,
Bring us back together.
I'm ready to go. This Roquan stuff.
Yes.
I love the comments already. No one cares about Roquan. We're talking about Roquan. And first of all, I don't even think we've talked about Roquan on the show in like 3 weeks. Nope.
When he picked off Mitch,
Carm got in a Twitter spat or something.
I tweeted out yesterday knowing that it was going to not turn out particularly well, but I still tweeted it that it has been, as of now, it's 57 days. It'll be 58 tomorrow. I should have waited actually for tomorrow. It'll be 58 days since they traded Roquan, and the Bears have yet to win a football game. And
which is just a fact.
Which is just a fact.
It's not
and people are, well, what's your take? That's a terrible take. It's not a take. I'm telling you, I didn't say that this was the worst trade of all time. That would be a take. What I said is that it's been 56 days since they won a football game. And I said, which could be a good thing. I put that in parentheses. But there is this narrative out there in Bears land that there's just absolutely no doubt that trading Roquan was a brilliant thing because he doesn't play a premium position. And I'm just like, hold on a second. If you read The Athletic last week, hashtag Hogan Johns, there's all these comments from people in Baltimore that Roquan has been a tremendous asset for that locker room, that he's making the linebackers around him so much better. They're 5-2 with him. They're worried they're not going to be able to sign him because there's going to be all this competition for signing him. Yet over here we have no good football players land on the Bears defense. We are 100% certain that we made the right move in trading Roquan, which, by the way, we spun one of our second-round picks for Chase Claypool, who looks at best like a number 3 wide receiver. I'm sorry. I'm not completely sold that getting rid of Roquan was such a good idea. And I would have loved to, and people say, oh, Jack Sanborn. Okay, yeah, Jack Sanborn. I love Jack Sanborn. I bought the Sanborn jersey. I would have loved to have seen 57 and 58 playing together and seeing what that looks like. And by the way, again, I like good players, and Roquan was a good player. And one more thing, and I'll finish here. I don't care that it got sideways with the Bears organization, that he acted like an idiot, that he didn't have an agent. Shouldn't have done it. Terrible move. But you know what? Long term, it wouldn't have mattered. That had nothing to do with anything. Do you want him on your football team or not want him on your football team? And lastly, I know that he's going to be expensive, but they have $125 million in cap space. They could have afforded Roquan and afforded a lot more, and you're going to overpay for a free agent. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. So you would have been overpaying for the guy who was second in tackles in the NFL since 2018. I wouldn't have hated it.
First of all, great
Yes,
rant
great
by
job.
you.
Great job.
That was a
Mark.
good job.
Pisses me off.
Just gave you your space.
Okay.
you know.
Good job.
Thank you,
Good
thank
job.
you.
Mike.
Okay,
now
now I'm
here's
done.
where I come in. Okay, I'm not even coming into this as like they shouldn't have traded him thing. That's clearly how you feel. I just find it hilarious that Roquan Smith somehow went from he's the most underrated player. He doesn't get respect, and I was leading that charge. I'm all for it. That's why I'm still like on the Roquan's good side of things. Every year, Bears fans. He should be in the Pro Bowl. He's an All-Pro. He doesn't get respect. It's only because he's behind Fred Warner and Bobby Wagner.
Bobby Wagner, yep.
And then all of a sudden they
Interesting
trade
names,
him.
by the way.
All of a sudden they trade him. This guy sucks. What? What? He's still good. He's still a really good player. And I'll tell you what, if the Bears went out and signed Roquan Smith on the first day of free agency in March, every single Bears fan in the world would be like, this is the greatest move by Ryan Poles ever. He got a second-round pick back for him, and then he brought him back, and Roquan's the best. Go Roquan.
And Nick, I want you to get in here, but I just want to say to everyone in the chats who are saying like that I'm an idiot or whatever, the Ravens have been under 500 twice in the last 15 years, and one of those years they were 8-9, and Lamar was hurt. So, and by the way, they won a Super Bowl with Joe damn-ass Flacco. So don't tell me that that it's completely ridiculous to want Roquan because one of the better organizations in all of football wanted him. And are probably going to sign him. So it's come on, man. Like let's not completely say that it's ridiculous. And for the record, if they end up getting the number 1 pick, or do a ton with the 2 pick, and it turns into a bunch of draft picks, and then the Roquan trade was worth it because they would have won, I would think, at least one, if not a couple of games with him. So this could play out. I'm not saying it was the wrong thing to do. I'm just saying that it's up for debate at this point. That's my entire point.
I remember when the trade was made, and I kind of pointing out like where the defense was at. It wasn't good, even with him. But I remember like tweeting out that this defense is not getting better without Roquan Smith. We got a lot of pushback from that. Like people, like what you were saying, Adam, like, oh, he's not good anymore. It's like, well, the defense doesn't get better without him. And now you're seeing what he's kind of doing with Baltimore, helping that defense become the unit that it is. And what you said, Mark, like I would love to have seen what Jack Sanborn alongside of Roquan Smith would have looked like. But he's gone, and that's kind of all I'll add to this conversation on Roquan Smith.
Well, it's just funny because if he reaches the open market, which we don't know, I mean, they got to figure out Lamar's situation, and I think that's only gotten murkier with the injuries and things like that. So I don't know if they're going to be in a position to franchise tag Roquan or not, or if they want to or not. But if he hits the open market, he's going to be ranked number 1 on my list of weak side linebackers to go sign. And you need to go sign one.
Yeah, you definitely
You can't go into
need a
next
guy.
season again with Nicholas Morrow.
No. He hasn't shown you anything this season.
Yeah. And look, if you're looking at who the Bears are right now, what's the strength of this team outside of the quarterback?
Right for the Bears right now.
Yeah, what's the strength of the team outside of the
rushing
quarterback?
attack. Probably the running back. The running game.
You could say that. Give me number 3 then.
Secondary, young
Yes,
secondary.
correct. All right. To me, if you're looking for a blueprint to what the Bears could be down the line, to me they look most like the Seahawks right now. Right? You could have a really strong secondary that is emerging. You had another player into there. Then all of a sudden, I'm not saying we're going Legion of Boom 2 here, but what does the quarterback look like? Can he be as good as Russell Wilson? I think he can be better. But if even on the low end, like, and by the way, that Seahawks team, that should have been a back-to-back Super Bowl champion if they just run the ball at the goal line.
Yeah.
So having a stud linebacker in there to go along with what the Bears are building would not have been such a terrible thing. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat too. Like everyone's like, yeah, you gotta have the defensive end. You gotta have the defense. Yeah. Good players help you win football games no matter the position.
I still think when you put together the whole picture and understand the timing of things and where the Bears are at, the trade made sense.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm, and I think that's what maybe some people in the comments are missing right now. Like I'm on board with the trade still. I just feel like there's also been this like narrative out there that he's not good anymore, or like this, and I I think that's just sort of a natural fan reaction maybe sometimes, and whatever. But he's still very good. And I would challenge every single one of those people. I don't think anyone would be against the Bears re-signing Roquan if they did.
And for the record, I am not. I'm mostly with you. Like, okay, it's fine. They dealt him. I get it, but let's right now. That trading one of your second round pick to get Chase Claypool. If we could rewind all of that and just go, I would, if they could just rewind that part of the trade, I think the Bears would do it.
Well, and I think, and that's where I don't think we have to make sure we separate those two, right? Because they're not
the right.
They're not
the same
necessarily
trade.
the same thing. But yeah,
would you give them the freedom to do that? By the way, but yes,
would you feel better if right now the Bears had what's looking like the 33rd overall pick, because remember the Dolphins are out their first round pick, and if they end up with the first, the Bears, that becomes the 32nd pick, which is like his second first rounder, essentially. Would you rather have that or Chase Claypool? Right?
That.
Yeah.
So I mean,
at this point,
and then you're looking at like, okay, you have 2 second round picks. Yeah, the Roquan trade definitely makes sense. I still think the trade makes sense. Part of me still understands the Claypool trade. I just draw the line at they shouldn't have, and I said that on the day the trade happened too. I didn't like that they gave up the earlier second round pick. Mm-hmm. And to me, here comes all the comments. Well, the Packers were going to get him. Fine, let the Packers have him. Yeah. Right. Just because your rival wants him doesn't mean you have to outbid him. You have to understand your own scouting. And I don't know that. I don't know. I mean, Chase Claypool, is he better on the Packers right now?
No, I mean, he's not picking up this offense. No guarantee
does he
picks up that
understand these
one.
hand signals either? But, like Roger.
Yeah. But I think listen. It may work out fine with Claypool. Yeah. It may, but I think we could also say that he is never going to be a number one stud receiver. That is not who you traded for. I think that's overly clear.
Yeah, I mean, it's not looking like that. It's especially
if he can get to be
on the field.
Yeah, if he can get to be a legit number 2, everyone would sign up for that right now.
Mm-hmm. Another reason I want Fields to play in these last 2 games, assuming Claypool can't play.
How Eberflus was talking yesterday is like, we'll wait till the injury report. We know how those go, so see what ends up happening.
I feel better slightly.
You do?
I mean, I don't even know if I do actually.
Okay.
Let me just last thing I'll say. You are so far away that you need to get lots of assets. So the trade made sense from that point, period. But what's different about that trade is that Roquan's entering his prime. He's not an old player, so that makes it a lot different than trading Robert Quinn.
Yeah, and I also do think the Claypool trade was more for 2023 than it was 2022. Mm-hmm. And also part of the calculus was the upcoming free agent market, which isn't great.
Yeah.
All those things I'm all for. That's why I'm not giving up on Claypool. I do think if you gave Ryan Poles truth serum, he would tell you he was hoping to see more out of this than he's seen so far. So that's certainly.
I don't know. Claypool might be in on the tank. I don't know.
Maybe. All right.
I have no Arlington Heights updates, Mike Ibsen and Robert Friel. You're funny. And by the way, shout out to whoever came up to me yesterday at the Bulls game, walking through the concourse. CHGO listeners, just know that wherever and who came up to me in the dispensary, which was amazing. Not that I was purchasing, not that there's anything wrong with that, but was hanging out.
What? Why are you at a dispensary if you're
because
not purchasing?
We were Bears After Dark. I don't think he'll mind. Good old Seth Marks was sitting here. He wanted to go to the dispensary afterwards. So me and Braggs went with Seth to the dispensary because he needed to go to the dispensary down the street. And somebody came up to, Braggs can confirm this if he's still watching. They just, hey, what's up, guys? And, CHGO listeners. So shout out to everybody who's consuming the show out there, comes up and say hello. We appreciate it. Okay, I got it. We got to go. Hoge, you're up.
ComEd's energy efficiency program is committed to helping families and businesses in the communities we serve manage usage energy usage and lower energy bills. Now and into the future, ComEd offers a wide array of incentives on lighting and other efficiency upgrades to commercial, industrial, and public sector customers of all sizes across our territory. Customers can inquire about how to upgrade outdated lighting to energy and money-saving efficient LED lights. Learn more about network lighting to operate your lights through your mobile device and track your facility's energy usage and more. Incentives have recently increased for indoor and outdoor lighting and network lighting controls, making these projects even more cost-effective than before. Visit ComEd.com/poweringbiz to start saving money and energy. And if you want to start a project, contact ComEd at 1-855-433-2700. For more information, email business at ComEd.com or public sector at ComEd.com.
That was great. I went to go get the Shady Rays just so you can see visually what these kind of look like, but I realized I can't actually read my screen. So that's how good they are.
I'll wear 'em.
Polarized.
Dude looks even better now.
But Shady Rays, premium
give 'em
polarized shades featuring
doesn't trust you.
world-class optical clarity, substantial durability, and styles cater to everyone and every lifestyle. The best part about Shady Rays, they have the most insane protection program in all of eyewear. If you lose or break your shades on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. Drop them in the lake, throw them off a cliff. Whatever happens, they'll get you a new pair of Shady Rays sunglasses. Even with that strong of a protection program, they still manage to make quality that I can tell you holding in my hand seems just as good as any expensive pair that I have ever owned. And Shady Rays customers seem to agree with over 200,000 five-star reviews. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is running their deepest deal of the season. Use code CHGO for 50% off 2 or more pairs at ShadyRays.com. Buy one, get one free. You get 2 pairs for as low as $54. Redeem only at ShadyRays.com, where you can find all the newest and best shades.
All right, wrapping things up here on the CHGO Bears podcast.
No. I want to go 3 more hours. I'm having so much fun
you
today.
can. I got to go host on the Score. If anyone wants to listen this afternoon.
You and Speaks?
Yeah.
All right. I'm all in.
Got some Bulls talk.
Oh, boy. That's going to be fun.
Just make sure you mention, like, me.
You?
Yeah. Like,
Actually, Will Gottlieb's going to come on.
is Godly coming on?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
And I think he's in Argentina.
That's even cooler.
That's awesome.
I
By
have
the
no
way,
idea what it is,
He's traveling the world.
I want to get my buddy, the good old Matt Verderam, on this program, who I used to work with at Fanside. I was talking to him. He's got a lot of interesting thoughts about the Bears, so
Bears.
it'll be a good convo with Verdi. Keep going.
All right.
Nick knows Verderam.
We're back tomorrow. What's tomorrow already?
Tomorrow's
It's a
Wednesday.
weird week.
I have no idea what day it is or where I am.
So we'll be back tomorrow, noon. Maybe talking to Carmi V.
I think Carmi V's in.
Yeah. So we'll have a good show for you tomorrow. And make sure you're checking out allchgo.com. Become a diehard. Check it out. And
There you go.
What are you laughing at?
Right there, right? This comment right here. 3 hours of Carm alone just ranting into the void of the internet.
I mean, the shows that I do to my car windshield are just absolutely extraordinary.
Just, throw it on Twitter Spaces. Maybe
Yeah,
Brad
there
will
you
jump
go.
in.
I mean, that's what
I'll tune in like hour 2.
I can't compete with
Is that what
Braxton
you-
Spaces.
Is that what you do on the talk?
I'm not doing enough talk. It's a bad. I watch the talk.
You just sit there, scroll through the
The
talk.
talk knows me better than I know myself. It's unbelievable. Their algorithm is it's frightening how much
The
they know.
irony of you figuring that out as you're watching that Mark Cuban video where he's basically telling you that
Yes.
is pretty good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That seems like a good way to end the show today. Follow us on Twitter at Adam Hoge, at The Carm, at Nicholas Moreano. We're back tomorrow. Nick will be at House Hall with all the updates. Make sure you're following him. We'll have him on tomorrow to apparently have Flus tell us all the opposite of what he told us yesterday,
How this
according
all
to what
started.
Carm believes might happen hypothetically, and then if it does, we'll cover it a day ahead of it happening.
If the Flusosophy happens,
Oh, that show's going to be wild.
that'll be a great moment in the history of Bears football.
Talk to you tomorrow.